The vote passed 37-0, and humanity had 12 hours to make its case before the cleansing fleets arrived. Sarah Cole stood at the observation window of Covenant Station, watching the alien delegation ships hang in formation like surgical knives, waiting for the first cut. Behind her, the emergency assembly chamber filled with voices that tried to maintain diplomatic composure and failed. Earth's representatives had been summoned not to negotiate, but to witness. "They're not even pretending this is deliberate," Cole said. "This is theater." Marcus Webb stepped beside her, his reflection ghost pale in the reinforced glass. The Secretary General of the United Earth Federation looked exactly like what he was, a man who'd spent 40 years building bridges that had just been burned in 40 seconds. "The Velthari delegation is requesting immediate audience," Webb said. "Protocol demands we receive them." Cole turned from the window. "Protocol. They vote to exterminate us, and we're worried about protocol. Because it's all we have left," Webb said. The chamber doors opened without ceremony. Zyrax entered first, his four silver-gray arms moving in the flowing gestures that signaled Velthari authority. Behind him came Sheki of the Zurani, her carapace segments shifting in the unsettling way that marked hive mind consensus. Last came Dreskar, massive even among Thraxians, his three eyes tracking the humans with the detached interest of someone examining bacteria cultures. Zyrax stopped at the center of the chamber. His facial plates rippled with what might have been satisfaction or contempt. The translator rendered his words with mechanical precision. "The Galactic Covenant has reviewed humanity's file," Zyrax said. "The decision is final." Webb moved forward, hands open in the universal gesture of peace that meant nothing to species who communicated through color shifts and pheromones. "Ambassador Zyrax, we request—" "You request nothing," Zyrax interrupted. "You have been judged. The judgment is extinction." Cole felt her jaw tighten. She'd spent 15 years in the diplomatic corps, learning to swallow rage and smile through insults that would start wars on Earth. But there were limits. "On what grounds?" Cole demanded. "We followed every treaty, paid every tribute, restricted our expansion to the boundaries you set. What law did we break?" Sheki's mandibles clicked in rapid sequence. The hive mind spoke through her with the unified voice of billions. "No law was broken," Sheki said. "This is not punishment. This is prevention." "Prevention of what?" Webb asked. Dreskar moved forward, his footsteps heavy enough to vibrate through the deck plating. When he spoke, even the translator couldn't mask the certainty in his voice. "You are young," Dreskar said. 43,000 years of Covenant records show a pattern. Species like yours either burn themselves out or become threats that consume everything. The Covenant has seen 17 similar races. None survived their own nature. 12 required military intervention. The cost was 38 billion lives across 40 systems. "So you're killing us for crimes we haven't committed," Cole said. "We are preventing crimes you inevitably will commit," Zyrax said. "Your species exhibits all the markers. Rapid technological advancement without corresponding ethical development, aggressive expansion, resource exploitation, factional violence despite planetary unity. You are a bomb waiting to explode." Webb's composure cracked at the edges. "We've had peace for 70 years. Global cooperation. We've eliminated poverty, war, disease." "Temporary," Sheki interrupted. "The pattern holds. Your population pressure is mounting. Your resource needs exceed your planet's capacity. You will expand. You will conflict. You will spiral into violence that spreads like infection. We have seen it before." Cole looked at the three aliens standing in judgment. Behind them, through the chamber's main viewport, she could see more ships arriving. The cleansing fleet was assembling. "How long do we have?" Cole asked. "To evacuate?" Zyrax said. "You misunderstand. There will be no evacuation. The extinction must be complete. Any survivors become seeds of the same problem. The vote was specific. Total elimination. No colonies spared. No ships permitted to flee. Humanity ends today." The words landed like physical blows. Cole heard someone behind her make a sound that might have been a sob, or might have been a laugh at the absurdity of it all. "12 hours, Dreskar said. The Covenant grants you time to send final communications to your homeworld, to say farewells. It is more mercy than you would show each other in similar circumstances." "You don't know that," Webb said. "We do," Dreskar said. "We have studied your history, your wars, your genocides, your casual cruelty to your own kind. You call us monsters, but we are ending you quickly. You would make each other suffer for generations." Zyrax gestured with his upper right arm. This audience is concluded. Make your preparations. The delegation turned to leave. Cole watched them go, watched the casual certainty in their movements, the absolute lack of doubt. They were administrators processing paperwork. Humanity was a checkbox on a form. Something cold settled in her chest. Not despair, clarity. Wait, Cole said. Zyrax paused at the doorway. There is nothing more to discuss. You said you've seen this pattern 17 times, Cole said. Did any of them surprise you? No, Zyrax said. That is why the pattern holds. Then you're about to see something new, Cole said. Webb turned to her, confusion clear on his face. Cole ignored him. She was watching Dreskar, who had stopped moving, his three eyes focused entirely on her. Threats are meaningless, Sheki said. You have no military capability that concerns us. I'm not threatening you, Cole said. I'm asking a question. If we can prove we're not what you think we are, will you reconsider? Prove how, Zyrax asked. With words? Your rhetoric is eloquent but irrelevant. Not with words, Cole said. With action. Give us one task. One impossible thing that contradicts your pattern. If we succeed, you reconsider the vote. If we fail, you proceed as planned. The three aliens exchanged glances. Dreskar's central eye narrowed. Interesting, Dreskar said. But there is no task that would prove anything. Any action we set could be performed out of survival instinct rather than genuine evolution. Then make it something survival instinct would prevent, Cole said. Make it something we'd only do if we were actually different from your pattern. Silence filled the chamber. Cole could feel Webb's stare burning into her back, could sense the other human representatives holding their breath. She just made a promise she had no authority to make, and no idea how to keep. Zyrax's facial plates shifted through several configurations. Decision-making, Cole had learned, looked like ripples on silver water. The Aetheri delegation requested a test, Zyrax finally said. We overruled them, believing it wasteful. But if you insist on this futility, we will grant it. What test? Webb asked. Sheki's carapace segments locked into a rigid configuration. Battle ready, Cole realized. The hive mind was preparing for something. There is a ship, Sheki said. The Radiant Dominion. It left our space 9 hours ago carrying Covenant medical supplies to the colony at Ashpool. 3 hours ago it went silent. We sent probes. The ship has been taken by the Zarathi. Cole's breath caught. She knew the name. Everyone who'd studied galactic politics knew the name. Pirates, Webb said. You want us to fight pirates. Not pirates, Dreskar corrected. Slavers. The Zarathi take ships, take crews, sell them to the labor markets in the outer systems. They have 3 brains, perfect tactical coordination, and weapons that would tear your best ships apart in seconds. If they're such a threat, why haven't you eliminated them? Cole asked. They operate in contested space, Zyrax said. The political complications outweigh the immediate benefit. We contain them. We do not engage them. But you want us to, Webb said. The test is specific, Sheki said. Recover the Radiant Dominion. Return it and its cargo to Covenant space. Do so within 8 hours. If you succeed, we will delay the cleansing vote for 1 standard year while we reconsider our analysis. If you fail, you merely die slightly sooner than planned. Cole felt the pieces sliding together. It was impossible. Humanity had 4 combat-capable ships total. The Zarathi had been raiding Covenant borders for 3 centuries. This wasn't a test. It was a demonstration. Proof that humanity couldn't handle even basic threats. We accept, Cole said. Sarah, Webb started. We accept, Cole repeated, louder. Send us the coordinates. We'll have your ship back in 8 hours. Zyrax's facial plates rippled with something that might have been amusement. Then you have permission to depart. May your ending have meaning, even if brief. The delegation left. The moment the doors closed, Webb grabbed Cole's arm. What the hell did you just commit us to? Webb demanded. A chance, Cole said. It's more than we had 5 minutes ago. It's suicide with extra steps, Webb said. We don't have ships that can fight the Zarathi. We don't have weapons, tactics, or time. You just volunteered humanity for a public execution. Cole pulled her arm free. Call the Resolute. Get me Nathan Cole. Webb stared at her. Your brother. Sarah, he commands a science vessel. We need military. We don't have military that matters, Cole said. But Nathan's been running gray market cargo for the past 6 years. If anyone knows how to deal with slavers, it's him. Subscribe and hit the bell, now. Back to it. The Resolute looked like it had been assembled from spare parts, which it mostly had. Nathan Cole appeared on the view screen with grease on his face and irritation in his eyes. Whatever you're calling about, the answer is no, Nathan said. Humanity has 8 hours before extinction, Sarah said. We need you to steal a ship from the Zarathi. Nathan was quiet for exactly 3 seconds. Then he laughed, sharp and bitter. Of course we do, Nathan said. Give me the details. Sarah transmitted everything while the Resolute burned toward the coordinates at maximum acceleration. Nathan listened without interrupting, his expression shifting from skepticism to calculation. The Zarathi work in packs, Nathan finally said. 3 ships minimum. They'll have stripped the Dominion's weapons and slaved its navigation to their control ship. Standard doctrine is to keep the crew alive until they reach a market. Cargo's probably intact. Can we take them? Sarah asked. No, Nathan said. Not in direct combat. But we don't need to take them. We need to make them want to leave. How? Webb asked. He'd insisted on joining the transmission, his face tight with stress. Nathan's smile had edges. The Zarathi are smart, but they're arrogant. They've never fought humans before. They don't know what we're capable of because we've never shown them. So we're going to lie. Explain, Sarah said. The Resolute sensor profile is garbage, Nathan said. To Covenant scanners, we look like a civilian transport, but I can modify the emissions, make us look like something bigger, something military. If we come in hot, broadcasting aggressive intent, the Zarathi will scan us and see a threat they can't immediately assess. They're slavers, not soldiers. When faced with unknown risk, they run. And if they don't run, Webb asked. Then we all die slightly faster than planned, Nathan said. But I've dealt with these bastards before. They're predators. Predators don't fight when easier prey exists elsewhere. The Resolute reached the coordinates 6 hours into the deadline. The Radiant Dominion hung in space like a corpse, its running lights dead, hull breached in 3 places. Around it, 3 Zarathi vessels moved in lazy orbits. Smaller than Covenant warships, but faster, bristling with weapons that looked organic. Getting detailed scans, Nathan said. He worked his console without looking up. The control ship is the one with the green bioluminescence. That's where they'll be coordinating from. The other 2 are drones, basically. Destroy the control ship's command cluster, the drones go dormant. We can't destroy anything, Sarah said. We have mining charges and civilian-grade point defense. The Zarathi are combat-rated. We don't destroy it, Nathan said. We make them think we're about to. He triggered the modifications. The Resolute's emissions spiked, broadcasting signatures that mimicked military-grade power systems. Nathan laid in an intercept course that brought them screaming toward the Zarathi formation at attack speed. Broadcasting now, Nathan said. Standard military challenge. Identify yourself, surrender, or be destroyed. The Zarathi vessels shifted formation immediately. Sarah watched their sensor data change as they scanned the Resolute, trying to match its profile to known threats. They're running threat analysis, Nathan said. Any second now. The lead Zarathi ship opened fire. The Resolute shuddered as energy weapons scored its hull. Alarms screamed across every system. Nathan threw the ship into an evasion pattern that felt like it was tearing the frame apart. So much for running, Sarah said, gripping her restraints. Wait, Nathan said. That was a probe. They're testing our response. He triggered the point defense system, not at the Zarathi ships, but at empty space between them. The defensive weapons lit up the dark with tracers that looked far more impressive than they were. Now the hull charges, Nathan said. 3-second countdown. The mining charges detonated against the Resolute's own damaged sections, creating massive explosions that bloomed in the void. To outside sensors, it would look like return fire, like military-grade weapon systems engaging targets. The Zarathi formation broke. All 3 ships scattered, burning away from the Dominion at maximum acceleration. Sarah watched them flee, watched them abandon their prize rather than face an unknown threat. They're gone, Webb said, disbelief clear in his voice. They're slavers, Nathan said. This cargo's worth maybe 1,000,000 credits. Their lives are worth more. They'll find easier prey. He was already moving the Resolute toward the Dominion. Now we need to move fast. We've got 90 minutes to get that ship operational and back to Covenant space. The boarding took 40 minutes. The Dominion's crew was alive but unconscious, drugged into compliance by Zarathi capture protocols. The cargo hold was intact, stacked with medical supplies marked with Covenant seals. Propulsion's damaged but functional, Nathan reported from the Dominion's bridge. I can slave navigation to the Resolute, tow it if necessary, but we're going to be cutting this close. They burned back toward Covenant space with 40 minutes remaining. Sarah spent the time reviving the Dominion's crew, watching Velthari and Zurani and Thraxians wake up confused and terrified. When they understood what had happened, their confusion deepened. Humans recovered us? A Velthari medical officer asked. Why? Because we were asked to, Sarah said. But your species faces extinction, the officer said. Your time would be better spent in final preparations. Sarah looked at the alien, at its 4 arms and silver-gray skin and facial plates that shifted with genuine incomprehension. Maybe that's the point, Sarah said. The Resolute and Dominion crossed into Covenant space with 6 minutes remaining. Zyrax was waiting at the border station, Sheki and Dreskar flanking him. Their ships formed a wall that could have vaporized both human vessels without effort. Nathan brought both ships to a halt exactly at the boundary marker. Package delivered, Nathan transmitted. Cargo intact, crew alive. We're done. Zyrax boarded the Dominion personally, his 4 arms moving in rapid examination of the crew and cargo. When he returned to the transmission, his facial plates were rippling in patterns Sarah had never seen before. The cargo is complete, Zyrax said. The crew is unharmed. The ship is recovered. He paused, and the pause stretched long enough to hurt. The Zarathi are known to us. They do not abandon prizes, yet you made them flee. How? We lied, Sarah said. We made them think we were stronger than we are. When faced with unknown risk, they chose survival over profit. Deception, Sheki said. This proves nothing. Deception is a survival trait. We didn't use deception to survive, Sarah said. We used it to save your people. We could have run, could have used these 8 hours to evacuate whoever we could, to scatter into deep space and hope some of us survived. Instead, we came here. We saved your crew. We recovered your cargo, not because it helped us, because it was the right thing to do. Dreskar's 3 eyes fixed on her with intensity that felt physical. You risked extinction to save 37 Covenant citizens who mean nothing to you. They mean something to you, Webb said. He'd been silent during the entire operation, but now his voice carried the weight of 40 years building bridges. You said we were predictable, that we'd always choose violence, always choose self-interest. We just proved you wrong. Once, Zyrax said. One action does not break a pattern. Then give us the year you promised, Sarah said. Watch us. Test us again if you want. But give us the chance to show you what we actually are instead of what you assume we'll become. The 3 aliens conferred in languages the translators couldn't follow. Sarah watched their body language, watched the way Dreskar's posture shifted from certainty to something that might have been doubt. When they returned to the transmission, Zyrax's facial plates had settled into a configuration Sarah recognized as decision reached. The Covenant will honor its commitment, Zyrax said. You have 1 standard year. The cleansing vote is suspended. But understand this, we will be watching. Any deviation from the behavior you have shown today will result in immediate resumption of the extinction protocol. We understand, Webb said. The transmission ended. Sarah felt her legs go weak, felt the adrenaline that had been holding her upright drain away all at once. Nathan's face appeared on the screen, his expression somewhere between triumph and exhaustion. We just bought humanity a year, Nathan said. Now what? Sarah looked out at the stars, at the vast darkness that held species who had judged them and found them wanting. A year wasn't long. A year was barely enough to prove anything, but it was more than they'd had. It was a chance. Now we show them who we really are, Sarah said, and hope it's enough. The Resolute and Dominion parted ways at the border. Sarah watched the Covenant ship burn toward its colony, watched it carry the crew and cargo that humanity had saved instead of abandoning. The gesture felt impossibly small against the weight of what they faced. One action couldn't erase the pattern of 17 extinct species. One choice couldn't prove humanity deserved to survive. But it was a start. And sometimes, Sarah thought, as Earth's sun finally became visible in the distance, sometimes survival isn't about being perfect. It's about being willing to try, even when the odds say you'll fail. Even when the universe has already written your ending. Even when doing the right thing cost you the time you could have spent saying goodbye. The vote had been 37-0, but the count, Sarah realized, no longer mattered. What mattered was what came next, and whether humanity could become something the galaxy had never seen before. A species that chose compassion over conquest, even with extinction hanging over their heads like a blade. 1 year to rewrite a pattern older than human civilization. 1 year to prove that sometimes the most dangerous thing in the universe isn't the species that fights to survive, but the one that fights for something bigger than survival itself.